What is happening? Welcome to the State of the Union of January 25th, 2019. And we have a lot of interesting things to talk about today as we prepare for 4.0. But before we get there, there's some exciting stuff to talk about. One, and primarily, you guys are freaking killing it. I know I can't curse. Shut up. But seriously, we're seeing 6 times the traffic that we got in both December and January last year. I know that we went a bit dark. Nevertheless, to see the same numbers we're getting in February last year now is kind of nuts, and we'll probably get March numbers in February and then April numbers in March, etc. It's incredibly exciting, and you guys deserve it. There's so much incredible content going out. Let it be Fantasy 101 stuff, the Dynasty talks that we've seen, the anti-list initiatives, the going deep pieces, all the mock drafts, the best ball stuff. It's really incredible. I hope that when I met a lot of this new staff, when I interviewed you guys back in November, I gave you this promise of turning Pitcher List into this playground where you can do what you want. And I wanted to make sure that I brought on people that I believed would really take advantage of that opportunity, have that initiative to create amazing content that I know that they can do. And to see you guys really just knock it out of the park right off the bat, it is just incredible. From across the entire staff too, people that have been writing with us for a while. I've seen incredible articles from you too. And, I can't tell you, I can't tell you enough how excited I am for this season. It really is starting to be that moment that I'm recognizing truly how special this site is. I've talked about that for a long time, and it always seemed a little bit delusional when back in the day, when hoping to build this site and to really see what we can do, and we're really starting to execute our vision now, and it's January. So I hope you guys are as excited as I am, because it's really just a magical thing that we're doing. We're gonna look back at this time and really just think fondly about this early period and what it was before it really just became the best site on the internet. But anyway, we have a lot of things to talk about. We have Pitcher List 4.0 launching in 10 days. That is February 5th, that Tuesday. That's 2 days after the Super Bowl. That is tradition. There obviously are the regular things that happen every year, which is our gift database being updated. I release a launch video about just telling people the new features. We're going to have the gift database updated. Some cool things about that. We're going to have hitter pages as well as pitcher pages. And we're going to have the team pages sorted by role. That is starting rotation, relievers, bench, starters, I guess, for hitters as well. Minor leagues, disable this. And we're also going to have something called the Hall of Fame for those that are retired but very much associated with a team. And that's something so that year by year, there are certain guys that we're still going to want to look at. And we'll have a place on that team page for them that just will never change. So that's really cool. Player pages are getting a revamp. We're going to redo how we present our stats. We've realized that we don't really need those basic stats. If you're going to look up the career numbers of someone, you're going to go to Fangraphs. You're not going to go to Pitcher List. So what you're going to do for pitchers, the first thing you see are just GIFs, and then you can have options to look at their stat tables, which are going to be like your X stats. It's going to be your VPR numbers. It's going to be that SB Roundup archive during the season. Same thing with the GIF Roundup archive during the year. Then hopefully we're going to have some cool things like estimated schedule moving forward. That should be great. And one big thing that we've had a lot of requests for that we're going to have is we're going to have related articles. You guys have been doing this incredible tag system. Players mentioned in your articles. Every time that happens, it's going to shoot up into that box. So essentially, when you go to the page, it's going to be like Max Scherzer, name, team, whatever. And then on this side of it, it's going to be a box of all their articles, who wrote it, the date of it, and then there's a button that says see more selections than just the top 5. And you can go to everything that they've been tagged in. Really cool thing. It just makes it so people want to go to our player pages more often. It's just better that way. So that's really cool there. We're going to change the menu a little bit. I need to do this myself. I need to change the CSS a little bit so it's currently as it is now, but it's something like just having it drop down so much better where it's wide for the teams. And then the navigation right now, considering we have so many different areas of content, We want that to be just a lot easier and just having more menus so that you can find the stuff that we want instead of... I remember so many times last year we had a really cool new section and I forget to add in the navigation and I just became one super massive list. I don't want that. So we're going to just change up the navigation a little bit. Outside of that, as far as 4.0 comes, it's really just the advertising of you. I'm going to really make a public announcement about anti-list and across the seams getting new sections, about our dedicated Dynasty section that we're going to be unleashing. Same thing with DFS. So I'll get in a moment about DFS, a little bit of some changes there. But it really, 4.0 isn't about necessarily cool features. It's about the expansion of the site, of just more and better content. One feature I should say is that we do have a mobile app in development. I've showed it to a couple of you guys right now, our mock-ups that we have, and I've been working really close with Brandon Tully and Nate Von Banken with this. Nate is doing an incredible job building this, and we are currently aiming for a March 1st launch. I'm going to show it in the 4.0 video, saying that's coming soon. Hopefully we'll have a beta for you guys to test out in February. That will also be shared in the community channel. For those that support us, this is kind of a cool thing we can do. It's like, hey, test this out, give us feedback. I definitely know that I would want that kind of thing if I were supporting something else. About that, with Patreon, sorry, I've got to... Doesn't matter. With Patreon, I do need a little help with two things with it. One, I need to update the actual page on the site. I repositioned the tiers. We added all these cool things. Everyone gets a 10% discount now. There are extra things like live Q&As for the live stream. Access to fantasy leagues I'll talk about in a second. But I need help with two things. One, for the 4.0 launch video, is there someone that can just create a scrolling animation? We have so many supporters on Patreon, and I want to be able to just list them all in one large scroll. So if I know we can just do an image, and that's really easy for me to put together, I don't have the ability to just do a scroll image of everybody. It really just should be a, like, thank you for your support to our patrons, and then that stays stagnant, and then it's just a scroll down. I imagine someone has that ability. If not, we'll find another solution for it. But if someone knows, just reach out to me. That'd be really cool. Obviously, I would want that in the next week. If you can't do that, then fine. The other thing is I could use some help rewriting that page. Right now, it's something I wrote this time 2 years ago, and we're completely different now. So I'm going to do a new intro video, but I need to write the copy. That's about 4 paragraphs long. If someone would want to jump on that, be able to do that, would be incredible. Obviously, I'd work with you a little bit about what I want to say. I just haven't gotten the time to do that, and hopefully someone can do that. So about DFS, and there's a couple things to be taken care of for the 4.0 launch still. But we'll talk about DFS for a second. I did have my meeting yesterday with FanDuel. Now, there's a possibility we're still going to be working with Fantasy Draft for a little bit. My understanding is that I should be able to work out a deal with FanDuel. We went back and forth with a couple things. And I think what we're going to do is going to be doing the daily slate kind of stuff. We might have some special tournaments. But I think I have enough business skills that I should be able to have a deal with FanDuel. So it's like an 80% chance, maybe 90%, that we're going to be working with FanDuel. There is a small thing that we're going to have to still work with Fantasy Draft. I'll follow up on this when I know more. I should probably know in the middle of February or so to finalize everything on both ends. But we should be doing FanDuel exclusively this year, which is really cool. Things that we need to take care of for 4.0. One, this is something I've been hinting at a bit, and I want us to wait. I need someone to help me create the fantasy league system for both our contributors and working with the staff. There are a couple of ways of doing that. One could just be an open Google Doc, where essentially anyone can just go in and sign up for the leagues. If we're to do that, we kind of need to figure out how many leagues we want. Do we want to do, essentially, how many of us staff are going to participate in staff and reader leagues? How are we going to sort them? And then at what point do we just say, okay, cool, now here's your open slot for anyone trying to find a league. This is where anyone can just randomly sign up so that our contributors can just join leagues inside of it, and then we can just usher them out to go make their own leagues together. I hope that made a lot of sense. If someone is hearing this, go, oh cool, this would be something I would love to set up and have that organization. Awesome, reach out to me after this. We can get that sorted out. But the way I see it is, at least for the staff plus reader leagues, it should be like 3 of us staff versus 9 of them. We can also open it up to 15 team or different kinds of formats. But that's generally what I'm thinking. And then we can also do something like I'll give out a shirt for every person that wins a league, something along those lines. It just makes it really fun to join. Instead of a platypus, it would just be like, all right, you get your pick of shirt. I mean, that's as far as the cost for us, it's not too much, and it just is something fun that I feel like we should be able to do. So I want to do that. But that's what I'm thinking for setting up fantasy leagues. I'm really sorry for the Dynasty crew that was really hoping to set that up like now. But this is, I think, something that's really cool for us, Discord, a really great poll for people wanting to join us. Oh, great, I get to go against Ben Palmer, and I get to go against Dave Sherman, etc. inside of fantasy leagues. I think that's really cool. Other things to get taken care of. Obviously, we have this massive gift database, and I'm amazed. I mean, we're really close to getting it done. If you think that you cannot get your stuff done by Wednesday next week, you have to communicate with us, because we really need those 5 days to make sure, A, that it's all edited and good, and then B, that we can get it into the database and looking right. And like on the site and stuff. We need that time. So please, if you have signed up for something there, please just go through and get it done. If you feel like you can help out with something and it's just empty, just go and do it. Don't wait for us to give you the A-OK. Just start writing those blurbs. When it comes to editing, I know you guys have been sending me stuff that, hey, this is wrong, it needs to be fixed, etc. If it's possible to essentially just go into the channel, there's a channel, the GIF blurb channel. Just go and paste it all there. I know a lot of you have been doing a really good job of highlighting inside of the GIF Excel sheet as well, but this also gives the opportunity for other people to help out as well instead of just me having to double check it all. A couple things that I've seen with confusion of like Fangraphs lists this as this and there's this. There's 2 things I need to mention about that. One, FT and SI, that is fastball 2-seamer and sinker. That's the same. So if we have it labeled as FT and Fangraphs has it as SI, that's the same thing. Okay, so there's no need for correction there. The other thing I've seen a lot is Fangraphs listed as this, and we have it as that. That is like a slider, which is a curveball, or a cutter, that's a slider. That's really what the 2 things are. In those cases, it's about speed differential. Look at the pitch. Is there is this fastball coming in at 92 and this slider or cutter comes in at 90? That's a cutter. That's like 2 mph difference. It probably doesn't have big break to it. That's a cutter. If it's 92 to like 86 or so, 85, that's most likely going to be a slider. That's generally how you do it. The cutter is a little bit faster than a slider, is faster than a curveball. Now, if I see like a 10 to 15 mph difference, that's a curveball, not a slider. That's generally how I go about it. If there's any confusion with it, look at the GIF. I hope, I mean, through this process, you're kind of learning the differences, being able to just recognize pitches and knowing which ways they go. Changeups go arm side, sliders go glove side, cutters generally go glove side, sliders and cutters also go a little bit down, curveballs generally just go straight down, 2-seamers go arm side, 4-seamers often go a little bit glove side, but they can also sometimes go arm side as well, just a little touch. And that's generally it. Splitters are the same movement as changeups, as splitters and changeups. I think I got that right. And then also understand like the velocity bands. If you're looking at a pitch and one that's like the minimum is 65 miles per hour and the maximum is 88, and he's averaging like 86, that 66 is probably an ephus where he's actually trying to throw it slower. That kind of stuff. Hopefully that made just a lot of sense. Anyway, so that's really the state of the GIF database. That is obviously a massive poll that we're going to have, and I hope that everyone wants to share that when it is launched on February 5th. That brings me to another thing. We need to post more on Reddit. I've noticed this through the off season a bit. We post about 3 to 4 pieces of content every day, and we are okay posting up to 2 pieces of content on our fantasy baseball every day. I'm actually okay if you have the initiative to just, if you comment inside of our baseball, you can post an article of yours if it's about the game itself. That's fine. You can do that. Don't spam it. Really, just like do once in a blue moon for that, and you have to be commenting inside of stuff on our baseball. But for our fantasy baseball, you don't. You can just post it. It's fine. But just up to 2 a day. So go to our fantasy baseball on Reddit, see if we have 1 or 2. Yeah, see if we have 2 pictureless articles from this day. If not, just go submit link and post it in, do the same headline as you do for the article, and that's it. Do not do the comment and say, hey guys, I wrote an article, here's the link. No. Just post it directly as a link, and then you can post a comment saying, hey guys, I wrote this article, let me know what you think, etc. We should be taking advantage of this. I've seen days where we don't have anything posted, and we have enough content to do that, so we should definitely be keeping up with that. Moving on, there are going to be... Yeah, okay, so, sorry, I have little notes here. I am making a section inside of the Google Sheet, Google Master Sheet here, to help out with preseason schedules and regular season schedules. It's kind of like the next thing that needs to get done, is figuring out a preseason schedule to make sure that everything is locked in and we have the specific articles that we need and who's writing them. Then, of course, the master regular season schedule, which I still need to take a little bit more time doing to figure out what we can do, what we want to do, etc. So there's a section on inside the master Google Sheet, and if you don't know this, there are lots of tabs on the bottom, and you can scroll through them. I know I have this super wide monitor, so it's easier for me to see everything. I forget that for most people it's shorter, and you have to click through everything. But there is a couple tabs. One is essentially all the brainstormed articles we've come up with. And then on the left of it is people, like the names of people that have claimed those articles. These are for your weekly core fantasy pieces. I know there's a lot of people that want to do these weekly columns. This is where you claim them. And we've gotten some questions like who wants to do Stock Watch during the preseason? And we don't really have someone necessarily locked in for that at the moment. John Metzler did it last year. I'm not sure he wants to do it again. But that's the kind of stuff where we want to claim everything there. So go in, if you have an article that you want to do, just put it in. Just come up with it, say, hey, this is what I want to do every week, and put it in there. Now, there also are different sections of the site that we're announcing. It's the thing in 4.0 I'm really excited about. We have anti-list, we have Dynasty, we have Across the Seams, we have DFS, and to an extent social media that I'll talk about in a second. But inside of here, I essentially want you guys that are leading those sections, please come up with a master schedule for that. I want to see outlines for your in-season plans, that is things that we're going to do, when we're going to do them, what is our Monday article, what is our Tuesday article, what is our Wednesday article. This is how I run. This is how professional sites run, is that you need to have a schedule, you need to have a routine, and brainstorm what we want to do well before that happens. So I would love to see the initiative for everybody to figure out exactly what those articles are, and try and come up as a group of all the things that you want to do, list them out, and then figure out when you want to do them and get them up on the site. We have so much content that we're going to be creating better archives for different categories. That is, when searching for Dynasty, you're not just going to see the scroll like every other search archive. It's actually going to be a replication of the homepage, but just for Dynasty. This is how it should be, considering we have so much content, and we want people to feel at home going to different sections as if, oh, cool, I'm just going to go to the Dynasty section of Picture List every day, and it's going to look just like our normal homepage, just feeding Dynasty articles as opposed to all Picture List articles. Now, for social media, Eli and Jessica, you guys are heading that team. I have done you a disservice in that I have focused on other elements instead of jumping straight into it with you. However, moving forward, now is the time for us to really sit down and do that. I know you were planning a meeting next week, and I want to do that with you. So in the meantime, let's try and really brainstorm. If anyone wants to help on the social media side and give their suggestions, just jump into that channel. But let's really figure out a plan of what kind of events do we want to talk about, how do we want to go about them, and through the year there should be something every single day of the year as far as an anniversary or something we want to highlight. We should have plans for that in place. As far as the master sheet goes, there are other things inside of there for us to note. I know this is a long State of the Union. It's just a lot of things to go over. Staff consensus rankings. I've been talking about this for a while. We did them last year. It was awesome. Big props to Miles Nelson for consolidating all of it. What I have done is I actually have a section, a tab inside of the Google Master Sheet, which has the listings of I think the top 800 players. If someone can go through it and make sure there isn't any obvious person missing. I remember last year our thing was missing Brandon Morrow and it was missing Acuna, etc. If someone can just go through it now and make sure there is no one that anyone would really consider inside the top 300. Adam Garland, if you want to go after that, or anyone on the Dynasty team, and make sure there's no key prospects missing, stuff like that, that would be great. And then I'm going to set the deadline as March 1st for us to have that completed so that the week of March 1st we can have the staff consensus rankings for everybody. That just sounds like a great thing. Then we have these articles to talk about where you are high or low on them inside of March. It's really cool. We also have a section dedicated to mock draft signups. That is going to start on launch day. That is Tuesday night. I'm going to be doing the first of many, or first of weekly mock drafts on the site. These are super fun. We're going to start off just doing your standard 12-team 5x5 redraft leagues, and we'll probably expand it to maybe a 15er, or maybe OBP focused, or maybe doing a dynasty one, etc. But they're going to start on that Tuesday, and they're going to be open signups inside of the Google Sheet. They're either going to be Monday or Tuesday every week. It's going to depend a little bit. It's probably going to be Mondays for the most part, but first one's going to be Tuesday because it's launch day. Go in there, sign up. Try not to, I think that for the first week or two, maybe 3, hopefully it'll be a mix of people. So don't overload it with your name. Obviously give people a chance. But, yeah, just go and sign up for the first week and then the second one and so on. Lastly, we're going to have this newsletter. I've talked about it a bit. We have an outline for what we want it to be like. I actually jumped into MailChimp a little bit, and I saw it's actually really easy to create a template for what this will be. Adam Lawler has taken a cool initiative to help out with that right away. How we want to do it is we want to have a preseason one, where it's just once a week. It comes out every Monday. These are the things from last week that you should know about. And then during the season, there's also going to be a daily one on top of that weekly one. The weekly one right now is just going to be an aggregate of all our links, plus you get 2 paragraphs to talk about the interesting things that you want to talk about, and then also just a hint of what's to come. With the daily one during the year, it's the same format, except you're going to get an added bonus of the the ranked starters for the next day, courtesy of me. That is Tuesday's starting pitchers ranked on Monday, and then on site it's going to be there for Tuesday. So on Tuesday, so you get a day early during the year. We could use a couple people to jump in now so that we have that schedule during the regular season. Obviously, Adam can't do all 8 during the week during the regular season, maybe a couple, so we need a couple more people to jump in on that. I know Anthony Messinio. I'm so sorry. Messinio. Anyway, you've taken good initiative as well, so hopefully you're still interested in doing that. But that is it. That is everything that's cooking right now for the site for the most part. There are a couple things I didn't mention here and there. But if you have any other questions, obviously reach out to me. Leave an emoji for this video just so I know that you read it, that you watched it. And really that's it. So 2018 was a season that really put Pitcherless on the map. It made us established with the rest of the best baseball websites out there. We're now in the list with all the others, RotoWorld and Razzball and Rotoballer and Fangraphs and etc. We are there with them. This is the year we become the best. We have the staff for it. We have the passion for it. Now let's make it happen. I truly believe this is going to be, if not already, the best baseball website on the internet. We just have to prove it this year, and we're going to. So I cannot be more excited. We're going to do great things. Let's do this. And here's to a successful 4.0 launch. So thanks for being on this journey with me and the rest of the Pitcherless staff. Let's do something great. I'll talk to you guys later. I'll see you on the channel.